Cape Town is famous for Table Mountain and Lion's Head, but which hikes are actually worth your time? In this video we share our favorite trails we've already done, plus a few that are still high on our list for the next trip. Elsies Peak. We start in the deep south of the peninsula with Elsies Peak, a relaxed circular 4.2 kilometers hike above Fish Hoek and Glenkern. You start either from Berg Road in Fish Hoek or from Golconda Street in Glenkern Heights, follow a clear path with rock steps and slowly climb towards the radio mast. It's rated easy, takes about 2 to 3 hours and is completely free. Just bring wind protection because it can get surprisingly cold on the ridge. What really stays with you is the Finbus scent and the huge panorama. You see the whole of Hout Bay all the way to Strand and even Gordon's Bay. Next up is a hike above what many call one of the most beautiful coastal roads in the world, Chapmans Peak Drive. About halfway along the road, a 4.6 kilometers out and back trail climbs up to around 595 meters above sea level, and it takes around 2 to 3 hours for most people. From the top, you look out over Hout Bay, plus the valleys of Noordhoek and Fish Hoek, stretching as far as Cape Point. It's easy in terms of fitness, but the view feels like a big hike reward. Good to know, you need a free day pass at the Chapmans Peak toll booth for parking and trail access. And you should always pack a warm layer because the wind on top can be intense. Lion's Head is the classic sunrise hike and easily one of the most rewarding viewpoints in Cape Town. The peak stands at about 669 meters above sea level and forms part of the Table Mountain National Park between Table Mountain and Signal Hill. We drove from Glenkern around 3 o'clock in the morning, about 40 minutes of empty roads into the city, and meet with friends directly at the trailhead parking. With headlamps on, we circle Lion's Head on the standard pass and slowly work our way up towards the summit in the dark. There are two main route options near the top. After roughly a kilometer, you reach a split where a sign posts you either towards the chains and ladder route or the longer non-chain pass over the rocks. The chains route is shorter and more exposed, using metal ladders and chains bolted into the rock. Fun if you're confident with heights and want a more adventurous line. The alternative route, though, avoids the chains completely, is a bit longer and less steep, and is recommended if you're not comfortable with exposure, but you still climb over rocks and use a couple of normal ladders before the top. We chose the metal stair chains side, both up and down, which feels sporty but manageable in the dark with good shoes and free hands. Important tip: start early enough so you reach the summit before dawn begins. We were slightly late and only had a few minutes of that magical pre-sunrise glow. On our first South Africa trip in 2023, we left Cape Town at 4:30 and get on the top in time. Sunrise with a drone is a highly recommended condition. Enjoy! From the summit you get a 360-degree view, the CBD, the city bowl with Table Mountain behind you, the Atlantic seaboard in front, the 12 Apostles stretching towards Camp Bay. Plan to head down after 1.5 hours on top because during high season this trail becomes very crowded and the narrow sections on the ridge can get jammed. Suther Peak is currently at the very top of our Cape Town hiking bucket list. The trail starts near Sandy Bay around Oistiga Way and climbs to about 614 meters with a total distance of roughly 6 to 7 kilometers and 3 to 4 hours return. It's rated moderate, not technically extreme, but with steep sections and a few short scrambling parts where you will use your hands. You need decent hiking fitness and should be careful in strong winds, but it's still very doable for regular hikers. The reward: from the top you look back towards Little Lion's Head, Table Mountain and Lion's Head, while in front of you the Atlantic coast drops steeply down towards Sandy Bay and Hout Bay. Photos online look absolutely magical. Bonus tip: nearby you can add the BOS 400 shipwreck trail at Sandy Bay if you have time and energy, a separate detour along the coast to a dramatic wreck site. It's not part of the main Suther Peak loop, so you need to plan extra time and distance if you combine both. What do you think? Would that view worth the hike? Please leave your opinion in the comments. This is your big day out in the Table Mountain range, starting at Cecilia Forest and ending at Constantia Neck after around 710 meters of elevation gain and about 5.5 hours of hiking. From the shady Cecilia Forest parking, you enter tall trees and red earth with wooden steps helping you up the first steepest section towards the base of Skeleton Gorge. The first part is a gentle traverse along the lower slopes of Table Mountain, where you frustratingly gain a lot of elevation and then drop some of it again. But it's beautiful and green.
Now it's going downhill, we have to go uphill again.
Did I mention the waterfall? After about 2 hours you reach the junction with Kirstenbusch Garden, where you could join from the paid garden entrance if you prefer a shorter approach. From this junction it's roughly another hour to the famous white sand beach on top, but the trail gets significantly steeper. In the upper third you climb with hands and feet and use several wooden ladders through a ravine that can feel intimidating for anyone with a fear of heights. The payoff is surreal. Suddenly the vegetation opens up and you're walking on white sand toward a brown iron-rich reservoir tucked between rocky walls like a miniature Caribbean beach on top of Table Mountain. Instead of scrambling back down Skeleton Gorge, we choose the cheap track, crossing the dam wall and then following a concrete service road all the way down to Constantia Neck. Along the way you pass remote holiday houses and enjoy big views over Falls Bay, Musenberg and in the distance Gordons Bay and Somerset West. After about 5.5 hours in total you end up at Constantia Neck and call an Uber back to Cecilia Forest. A very Cape Town way of linking trails without needing a car shuttle. Hopefully you enjoyed watching our video. Please do subscribe, it helps the channel a lot.